So what is the 80-20 principle? Well, it's a concept derived from the observation of roughly 80% of outcomes come from about 20% of the causes. Now, in the context of training, it suggests that roughly 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. Now, let's apply this to fitness or running. The 80-20 principle implies that the majority of your progress comes from a small portion of your training regimen. So this is going to be typically means focusing on the majority, about 80% of your training volume at low intensity, steady state workouts, like Maffetone training, zone 2 training, and allocating a smaller portion, about 20%, to high intensity. That's more challenging workouts, such as hill repeats and track work, like 800 meter repeats, tempo runs, threshold runs, those sorts of things. So for an example with me, in running, it might involve 80% of my runs are going to be easy, conversational pace, low intensity, Maffetone training, zone 2 training, and dedicating the remaining 20% to harder efforts like interval training or tempo or high intensity exercises. The idea behind the 80-20 principle is to emphasize the importance of balance in training, ensuring you don't overexert yourself with high-intensity workouts while still making progress through consistent, low-intensity training. It's a way of optimizing training efficiency to reduce the risk of overtraining and burnout, and that's something that I can really get behind. Knowing when to change your training can be challenging for a lot of people. I know for me, sometimes I get kind of stuck doing the same thing over and over again. Trying to decide when to shift your training to a little bit faster as opposed to just continuing to do the zone 2 training all day, every day, continuously, and never knowing when to change it up. That's been something that I've always had to kind of contend with ever since I started using the Maffetone method. Training using the Maffetone method is a fantastic way to build up your aerobic base. However, if you want to see your potential and you want to be able to get faster, if you've been using the Maffetone method for a number of months and built up a good aerobic base, it's time to shift to what's more of an 80-20. 80% using Maffetone method and 20% more traditional speed work, such as like track workouts, could be intervals, could be hill training, threshold runs, tempos, all these types of things, right? And the reason for this is when you get into running and you want to be able to hold on to your fitness, there's a certain amount that you have to run to maintain your current fitness. And then there's a certain amount you have to train to be able to get benefits of running faster. And so when you start to reach that point, you have to look at it and say, okay, if I have to run, let's say I'm running, 4 days out of the week or 5 days out of the week, you have to run probably, let's say 2/3 easy just to kind of maintain what you got. Again, I'm no doctor, I'm no physiologist, I'm not any of those, I'm not even a coach. I just like to run and I learn from others that I am around. And these are just some of the things that I, hear about in conversations when I'm talking to my friends. And so reaching a point of wanting to run faster, because I'm kind of like built my aerobic base, I'm kind of like, I've done what I needed to do, I got what I wanted out of it, and now I want to start to add in some more speed work just to keep things fun, to keep it exciting, right? Whether or not I'm training for a half marathon or a marathon or a 10K, put that aside, right? I just want to keep things fun and I want to add some of these elements into my training. But you want to be able to do it safely, because when you shift into this more 80-20 type of running, there's some things that you need to understand. And one of them is when you're running using 80-20 training, you have to make sure that you do recover. You have to pay attention to recovering, because if you don't, the chances of kind of overtraining, the chances of getting injured, the chances of not putting back the food to recover with, if you don't do that, you may find yourself in the injury box, or you may find yourself burned out, or you could find yourself overtraining, because if you're not fueling for the type of running that you're doing, you run the chance of those sorts of things. And these are things that I'm thinking about while I'm doing this transition into more of a 80-20 type of style training. One of the challenges when you're using 80-20 is you may look at this type of training and going, look, I only have 3 days out of the week to train. And what you may find yourself doing is running those 3 runs all too fast. And that's something that, you're trying to like say, hey, I got 3 runs I'm gonna do. I wanna be able to maximize my training, so I'm just gonna go out and smash out fast times on all of these because I don't have any more times that I can run during the week. And that's something that you may have to have a reckoning with, because I don't know what the answer is to that other than take it easy and don't do it. don't go down that road, because again, depending on how long you've been running for and how much of a base that you've built behind you, from what I understand is you really could get injured if you go down that road. And again, depending on what age you are, that could also has a factor. There's so many factors that come into this. So for me, I'll use me as a test case, as an example. So I've been using the Maffetone method for quite a while. I've built up a strong aerobic base. I've gotten faster at the same low heart rate over a period of months and years. And so I know what my body can take. I know what my maximum heart rate is. I know my capabilities. And so because I know of all of those things, and I have the time to really dig in to give 80-20 a good go. And I've got some ideas with regards to my tempos, and I've got some ideas for my hill repeats and things like that. So I'm excited where that would go. But again, coming up with the training plan is the thing that I need to kind of focus on to make sure that everything all fits together. And that we'll take inside. Now that I'm doing 80-20, I have to look at it and say, hey, am I going to use time or am I going to use distance? Because both of them have their benefits. So if I'm looking at it from a point of view of training based on time, for example, if I run for 5 hours a week, about 4 hours would be spent at an easy conversational pace, again, Maffetone training or zone 2. And 1 hour would be dedicated to more intense workouts like interval training, tempos, hill repeats. If distance is the thing that I'm concerned about most, specifically if I'm training for a half marathon, this is what it would look like. An example of what that might look like would be, so if my weekly mileage goal is 30 miles, approximately 24 miles would be run at easy paced. 6 miles would be dedicated to more intense workouts like those hill repeats and tempo runs and threshold runs, those sorts of things. Now, if I'm trying to figure out how to make my training plan work so that way I can run a half marathon in 1 hour and 49 minutes, I need to start to think about when I'm going to do this. So the duration of this training plan would be like 12 weeks. I really do have to understand where I am with my fitness. I'm going to structure this with a mix of weekly easy runs, long runs, tempo runs, interval workouts, those sorts of things. But we're also going to make sure that we've got some rest days in there. And the plan is going to gradually increase the mileage and intensity while allowing for significant recovery to minimize my risk of injury and overtraining. I just got attacked by a dog. God damn it. What the hell is wrong with dog owners? Fuck. Put your dog on a leash. Put your dog in your backyard. And if you don't have a fence, buy an invisible fence and put a collar on your dog. This is crazy. I can't even run down a street without being attacked. Like, what the hell? Everyone thinks their dog is like the best. Fuck. My heart rate is so elevated now because of that dog encounter. Like by 10 beats. My God. Fuck, I hate German Shepherds. They scare the crap out of me. Oh, my God. Well, there goes one of my perfect runs. Okay, at least I have all my body parts. Man, dog was jumping all over me. I was like a statue. I didn't move. Didn't move. Didn't move. Protected myself until the owner came out. Oh my God, that was scary. Seriously, so high heart rate. Anyways, I'm just about done. Like I always say, get out and run.